Hi, welcome to WFC Book Discussions. My name is Nina, your hostess, and the book that we're going to be discussing today is entitled God Doesn't Love Us All the Same. Now, we're going to be doing things just a little bit differently in our book discussion simply because the author of that title, God Doesn't Love Us All the Same, is actually me. So what I wanted to do is answer a couple of the common questions that I get for this book, and actually it's kind of a common question I think a lot of authors get when they participate in the book discussions that I have done across the country with book clubs regarding this book. So I want to answer those two basic questions and then we can return to regular order. So the first thing is, what is the book about? So let me just give you a quick rundown of what the book is about. It opens with old homeless woman Vera. She's actually leaving a homeless shelter with the attitude of whatever happens, happens. She's going out in a snowstorm. And while she's out to take her place on the street, she runs into Janine. They end up in a coffee shop where it's warm, and Janine asks her what happened. So the book is largely Vera telling her life story, and it's done in third person, so you, the reader, know all the motives of the characters, what they're thinking, and can get a real big picture of the things and the people in Vera's life. And the other part of the story is told through first person, which is Janine, is how hearing that story affects Janine, who is a much younger woman just starting off in her life. She is unhappy, to say the least. She is confused about a lot of things, and she is really more self-absorbed than probably normal. So even the fact that she asks to help out this woman or starts to change after hearing her story is quite an accomplishment. I think in the end they bonded and in an unusual way, and ended up helping each other. They were both having issues with forgiving themselves and not able to move on. So that is the big picture of the book. So I'm always asked, well, what about the title? How did you come up with this title? And God Doesn't Love Us All the Same is a perspective, and it's actually the perspective of Vera and of Janine. Janine actually says those words at the very beginning of the book as she watches Vera, the homeless woman, being thrown out of the diner that they were just in. That, you know, some people just can't get a break. Some people are born lucky, some people are born with all the benefits, and other people just have to struggle. So it's really the perspective of both characters. I do want to say that I thought about changing that title simply because one of the places that was going to review my book simply discarded it or decided not to based on the title alone. And they said, well, we don't do religious books. We know it's not religious. We know that's what you say. We read some parts of the synopsis, and but we just don't do religious book. And because God is in the title, we're going to just pass on reviewing the book. So that made me think long and hard. Should I change it? The title, because some people may be put off because God's in the title, but you know, at the end of the day, everybody's not going to like everything you do, and that's just a fact. So I kind of just stuck with it because it does mean a lot to the characters of the book. So that's where my title came from. My inspiration, which is the second question. I'm always asked, how was I inspired? And the honest truth is, the question that Janine asked Vera, how did this happen? That's a question that went through my mind as I was a very young person on the streets of Washington, D.C., walking to work, and I would see an influx of suddenly just so many homeless people. I wanted to ask that question. I never did. Since then I have, because I've worked with people in the different communities, but before then I just sat down and decided to write a fictional tale out of the fact that life happens. People end up where they end up. It is a series of choices, but it is also life. No one plans to be homeless and living on the street. That's a line from the character Vera when she is talking at one point to Janine. So my inspiration came from my own thought process of what I've seen and wanting to know. So I decided just to write it. So those are the two questions that I am always asked. Now, what I'd like to know is from the readers, we're going to have 3 questions to those who've read the books and 3 questions about the topic, which is really deep because they're social issues. So please respond to that. I'd love to get a conversation going about that. The 3 questions that I want to ask the readers are, number 1, what character do you feel what's the most interesting, maybe you identified with? Would that be Sarah, Vera, Janine, Marianne, or Hattie? So those questions are going to be listed in Facebook. If you want to go ahead and tell us the who and the why, that'd be great. My second question is, what do you think happened to Marianne? Do you think she had any regrets about the relationship she had with her mother? That's question number 2. And question number 3 is, this is a common question that I also get, which is, did William really abuse Marianne? Was that in Vera's head, or was that the reality of what she witnessed? So go ahead and give me your feedback on that. That'd be great on Facebook, WFC Book Discussions on Facebook.com. Okay, now the questions that I want to ask generally, if you haven't read the book, that's fine, because we're dealing with topics. One question is, the topic is of homelessness. Do you believe society has an obligation or responsibility to take care of our homeless? Just give me your thoughts on that, yes, no, and it'll be great if you can go into the details of the why or the why not. Second question is grandparents' rights. That was a big issue within the book because of Vera's grandmother. What do you think about grandparents' rights? Do you believe that grandparents should have rights even when the parents of the child object? And that's not to say that the grandparent is an unfit guardian, but it's just that the parents don't want any involvement for more personal reasons. Do you think the grandparents still have rights? So let us know that. And question number 3, especially in this day and time with so much going on, it is about the race relation. That was prominent in the book as well. And so do you think the race relations back from the 20s and 30s, do you think the race relations have gotten better, worse, or really is about the same? So if you can give me your feedback on that, the why not, that would be very interesting to have that discussion. Again, it's on WFC Book Discussions on Facebook. Let me know what you think. And hopefully you'll read the book and be able to, or have read the book and be able to answer the readers' questions. But if you have any other questions for me as an author, I will be more than happy to take on those questions as well. Signing off for today, this is Nina at WFC Book Discussions. Thank you for watching, and until next time.